Hey guys, welcome to Chapter 9, Lesson 3. As you can see, we are still working on area. This time it is area of a trapezoid. All right, so when you look at page 685, the first thing they're showing you here is a picture of a trapezoid right here. Okay, so they have the trapezoid there. And then you can see they have another trapezoid that's exactly the same, flipped upside down right there. And then it tells you to look at base 1, base 2, and the height of the trapezoid, and then look at the length and the height of this whole rectangle. So base 1, we'll call this 1 right here, and we'll call this base 2 of the trapezoid. Base 1 is 1, 2, 3 units. Base 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. And the height, 1, 2, 3. Now, if we look at this whole big rectangle, length, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the height, 1, 2, 3. And then it says, what relationship do you notice between the rectangle and the trapezoid? So if I look at this trapezoid, notice base 1 and base 2, 3 and 5, if I add them together, I get the same as the length of the rectangle. So base 1 plus base 2 gives me this whole thing right here. So if I add them together, I basically have this whole rectangle. The height is the same. So this trapezoid is kind of like half of a whole rectangle. And that's going to be important when we look at the formula. So the formula, okay, because everything we're doing with area, we're using formulas. Okay, the formula is area equals 1/2 times the height times base 1 plus base 2. Now, this looks really confusing. And if I look at the words, it's probably even more confusing. The area A of a trapezoid is 1/2 the product of the height h and the sum of the bases b1 and b2. So let's not think about all those words. Let's break down what this formula is showing us. So base 1 plus base 2. We already talked about base 1 and base 2 are going to be the opposite sides that are parallel. Okay, base 1 and base 2. It doesn't really matter which one you call 1 and which one you call 2. So we're going to add those two together. And if we think back to order of operations, these are in parentheses, so we have to do that first. Then we're going to multiply that by the height. And that's what we said was just like a rectangle. Base 1 plus base 2, and then multiplied by the height. And that was just like getting the area of rectangle. But we said the trapezoid was like half of the rectangle. So then we're going to multiply by 1/2. We're going to take half of that. And that gives us the area of a trapezoid. So let's look at an example here. We always start with our formula. Area equals 1/2 height base 1 plus base 2. All right, what do I know? Well, I know I have area equals 1/2 times, what's my height? My height has to form a right angle. It does. It is 7. Base 1 is 5 plus base 2 is 12. So notice what I'm doing here. I'm writing down the formula, and then I'm writing all the numbers in, and I'm always doing one step at a time, just like we did all throughout the year with order of operations. So I do parentheses first. That's 17 Everything else stays the same. And then here is where I can choose what I want to do. 1/2 times 7, 3.5 times 17, and then area equals 59.5. Remember, area, we're always going to write in square units. So this looks like a lot of work. This looks complicated, but really, all I have to do is write down my formula, plug in all the numbers they give me, and then do order of operations. So nothing is really new except the formula. We've already learned how to put in numbers for variables. We've already learned order of operations. So the only new thing is the formula. And you should write this down on a piece of paper and put it next to your computer. So when you're doing your work, you don't have to keep looking it up. It's just going to be right there next to you. So everything that you're doing is using that formula. Here's another example. Okay, I'll do one more for you here. Area equals 1/2 H B1 plus B2. Plug in my numbers. 1/2. My height they give me is 9.8. Base 1 is 7. Base 2 is 12. Now I can add. I have 19. 9.8 stays the same. 1/2 stays the same. And now I would multiply these numbers together, and that comes out to 93.1. So area equals 93.1, and that is meters squared. Okay, so just like area of a parallelogram, just like area of a triangle, we want to write the formula down first and then plug in my numbers and then order of operations. All right, so that is finding the area of a trapezoid. We're also going to be doing finding the missing height, kind of like we did with the other shapes. Now, this is where they're going to throw you a little bit of a curveball, but it actually makes it easier for you. So they are saying here, use the related formula to find the height of a trapezoid. Now, that's another complicated looking formula. However, they're giving it to you, so you might as well use it. All right, so let's look at this example. All right, we know it says the area is 108 square feet. We know base 1, we know base 2, we're just missing the height. So if I use the formula that they give me, I'm gonna do it in the margin over here. All right, they're giving me this formula. They're saying height equals 2a. 2a is 2 times the area over base 1 plus base 2. So now I plug in what I know. Don't know the height. I know the area. So 2 times 108. And I know base 1 is 12, and I know base 2 is 15. Order of operations, 2 times 108 is 216. 12 plus 15 is 27. 216 divided by 27, height equals 8. And again, that is the height, so that is not square units. It's just 8 feet. They're actually making it easier for you than the triangle because they're just giving you a new formula, and all you have to do is plug in all your numbers. So we're not really doing algebra like we did before. We're not finding one of these variables, we're just plugging in all the numbers, and then it gives us what we're looking for. So take advantage of that. So write this formula down. Write the other formula down and label them both trapezoid. So area of a trapezoid and then the height of a trapezoid. So write those two down and then keep that next to you while you are doing the independent practice, which is right here. So if it says find the area, you start with that formula. What I would do is probably even just write this formula up here to start. Area equals 1/2 height times base 1 plus base 2. And now I know that I'm doing that. If they ever give you the area, okay, right here it says has an area of 150, then you know you are using the height formula. So we had height equals 2 times area over base 1 plus base 2. All right, so just plug in all the numbers they give you. Even though it looks complicated, we've done all of this stuff before. It's just the formula that is new. All right, good luck. If you have any questions, please let me know.